Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for the 17th of November, Sydney time. And we're looking at an Elliott wave count here of wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here. And then from wave 2, we're looking for wave 3 up here. So we're looking at from wave 3 here, from wave 2 to wave 3, we're looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for third wave here. Now, some folks would probably look at this being the third wave in this particular space here, but I'll tell you why that's not the case. Third wave in here, and rightfully so as well. It's a very powerful wave here, but the point being is that the length of wave 1 here, which is here, is still short for wave 3. The market's only here at the moment, and we are counting 5 waves up here. That may change, and we may need to put wave 3 here, but wave 3 is normally the length of wave 1 plus another 61.8% roughly. It can be more than that too, but all I'm pointing out is that this wave 3 is too short at this point, so we'll just pop it up there. But just be open for a change of mind on that. But what we have been doing is sticking to our count here as wave 1 and 2 here, and moving counting 5 waves up here for wave 1, and then looking for wave 2. Now wave 2 normally pulls back 61.8% of wave 1, but that hasn't really been the case in this previous wave here. So it's been quite shallow here, and there's very clear 5 waves up into this particular structure here. So yeah, we'll look for a shallow retracement in here. Let's just continue to move into the daily chart at this point. So once again, we're going from wave 2 here, and we've been counting 5 waves up from the low. And we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and counting 5 waves up in here for the top of wave 1 here. And then we'll see an ABC pullback for wave 2, and then we'll move up higher. So really, whatever corrections pull in through here are just buying opportunities for folks that are not using leverage and are just stacking like myself. So let's go in to this here and have a look at the levels in here. But just before we look at the levels here, the orange lines are major levels, the grey lines are medium levels, so they're 1 notch down, and then we have minor levels. So the minor level we've got here is 18,000, and then from the minor levels we've got sub levels, and then we have micro levels. So the medium levels are halfway between 2 major levels. So normally when we're using Fibonacci as a price ratio here, so we would just use the numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, which is 8 here, major level. And after 8 in the Fibonacci numbers comes the 13. So then after that it comes to the 21 up here, but 20 is stronger than 21, so we use the power of 10. So from 8 here we pop in 10, the power of 10, so starting at 1 again, and then 2 here for the 20,000, and then the 30,000, so we're using the power of 10 there. So the medium levels are halfway between 2 major levels. So the major levels are, in one case here, from 10,000 to 20,000. The 15 is the medium level. Between 10 and 13 here, we've got the 11,500, which really played out quite nicely. Also between the 13,000 and the 20,000, we've got the halfway mark, which is 16,500, and that's where we're dancing at the moment. So we're looking for a classic trading levels pattern here in this particular space. So we're going to go in and have a look at that on the 4-hour chart. So I haven't adjusted my count here, but we can do that now. We may as well. So I'll just remove a few of these lines. So we're kind of close. I just draw freehand, and then I dive into these a little bit more here. So we're looking at wave 4 here, wave 3 over here for that. Move that. We're looking for the first high above the level there. So So this is the 1650, and as I mentioned to you before, this level is, you wouldn't really think about this number so much, but look, 16's important and 17's important, right? But 1650, the 16,500, normally becomes the balance line between these two. So the 17,000 and the 16,000 are kind of pivot points within all of this, but the pattern that we normally work with is this particular one here. And what we're looking for here, because we're looking for a classic trading levels pattern here. So in this case, we're on track because we had the arrival here at the level, as expected, and then the three-wave retracement here as expected, and then we're looking for the first high above the level. So just to draw that picture out for you, for the new folks, is this here. So if this is the medium level across here, the 1650, we've got the arrival, the reaction in three waves, and then the first high above the level. So we're in this first high above the level here. So we're looking for 5 waves from this low to this high here, and then we're going to have an ABC pattern here, and then we're going to get support over here, and then we're going to move up further from that point. So there can be a variation on this particular pattern, which is this one here, where it doesn't drop below the level here, and this continues to the upside. This is valid because we reacted here. The other pattern that happens at the level, which we see a bit, but not as much as the other ones, is the overshoot pattern, where it doesn't stop here, which we've seen at the 15,000. So it didn't stop here, so we knew that we had this particular pattern. So if we look at this pattern here back at the 15,000 here, you see where it didn't stop here, just went straight through. They normally run out of steam and then fold back. So, and now we're looking at 5 waves in this particular structure here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming up here for this wave here, and this one, the 5 of the 5 of the 5 of 1 here. That's what we're looking for, and we're looking for wave 2 to pull back into this space. So what we're looking for here is really first high above the level that can go to 17,000 or 17,200, somewhere into that space, and then an ABC pattern here for this, and then we'll be looking to go further up into that space. Now I could have this count wrong. This is the count that I've held all the way through. So we need to talk about this a little bit. So the second thing we need to talk about is that we've had some trades on in this space down here. We've built in 1, 2, 3 here, 4 here. Now, I'm not trading this with the leverage, but some folks are. So if that's the case, if you have bought down here, and you've been doing it on what I've mentioned, then this is the place to take some profit, or take the profit, take it off the table at this point. So I'm going to put take profit here. And yes, the market can go higher, but so we can take that at the 17,000, or if it drops back below the level, then you need to take it. Okay, so I'll copy that and I'll put it back here. If the 16,500 becomes the retested resistance, then you need to be out of it at that point, because if wave 4 is here, then we've got wave 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here. Otherwise, we can take it at 17,000. Okay, so I'll put that there, because I don't know how deep wave 2 is going to be for this. It might be quite shallow, but also too, what we will do, just copying this again here, once I've got that high in place, once it's in place here, then we're going to put that here, and then we're also going to move that here. So there will be our entry points, because we'll be going up to 18,000 and then 20,000 at that point. So also too, I'll be looking to move back in here as well. Now, obviously there's going to be support in this space down here. So we may only end up coming back into this space here. So we'll need to be mindful of that as well. As you know, as you may know, I've just, instead of been buying leverage here, because I'm a leverage trader normally, but I haven't been doing that with Bitcoin. I've just been buying 1,000 Australian dollars a week every time one of these blue ones are here, but I also added 10,000 here and 10,000 here, and I'm going to add another 10,000 over here somewhere. So that will give me a total. I've got a total of 38,000 in there, close to 40,000. I'll put another 1,000 in there on this Thursday coming, because that's when I normally put it in. But that will end up probably by next week giving me 50,000 Australian dollars in there. But currently I have 38,000 in there, and I have 1.7 Bitcoin in there. Yeah, so that's where I'm at the moment. But as I'm not looking to sell my Bitcoin, I'm looking, because I know that once 20,000 becomes the support here, and we'll see a nice ABC correction across here as well. We'll see the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and we'll see some type of correction here. It could be quite time consuming here, but then we'll be pushing up, and from that point we'll push up to the 30,000. But the medium level in that space there, by the by, is the 25 in here. That's the medium level, and the minor levels are 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And the interesting thing about knowing this sort of, I'll do them a little bit later, but that basically, that will be the swing range for that 20,000 in here, using group 1 above and group 2 below. But we'll talk about that a bit further. So it's something that I will need to be accommodating at that major level here. But once this has got support here, then we basically go straight up from that point. There will be a correction across the 25 as well, a decent one, and then up to 30, and we'll get another decent correction at that level within group 2 and group 1 above that. So that's how we're going to build in. I mean, I've been a penny stock trader in my younger days, so to me there's no difference been going from 10 cents to 20 cents to 30 cents or 50 cents, or even I'm a stock trader as well, so looking at this as $10, $20, and $30, or $1, $2, and $3. To me, it's all the same. It's from the, it's the psychology. It's from the minds of us traders, and it's always the same. So because we've got support on $10 and we're trading up, the halfway mark is the 15. Well, we've got support on that. So all we need to do is get through the 1650, which will be swings at this point. Profit taking at 18, so there will be profit taking. If I've got the count wrong, well, then the 18 will come over to the 1 will come over to the 18 here. But we'll get, like coming up here, I mentioned, we'll get a correction at 13, 15, 1650, and 18. 1720s in here as well, but doesn't mean that much. But 18, and then the big one at the 20 here. So those traders that have followed this and moved in through here, you probably haven't held onto your hats, and you've probably been in and out because your leverage is too high. But if you've managed to stay in, which takes a lot of courage, I tilt my hat to you, because you've done extremely well. You've controlled your emotions. But this would be the place to take some profit here, because what we need to do is we need to, at 17,000, or if the 1650 becomes the retested resistance, then it will be dropping lower from that point. So we've got to figure out, number one, is my count correct? And if so, how deep is that correction going to be? Because technically, from this wave 2 low here, I can't see it being the case. From that wave 2 low to here, that's the 50-60% retracement level back at 13,000 there. So that's quite possible, right? So that's why those leverage traders need to be taking money here. I mean, I'll just leave mine there, and I'll just look to buy back a bigger chunk over here. I'm in the building process. I'm looking 5-10 years ahead. I'm looking 100,000 and all those sorts of weird numbers people are talking about, but I don't know that yet. All I can do is just go from follow the wave count and go level by level. But just be mindful that if this count is correct, the 50-60% is back at the 13,000 here. So that's a lot to take and a lot to waste if that's the case. So, I mean, I don't mind holding 50K in this first part of the trend. It doesn't bother me at all. So, I mean, sure, you know, get out, get back in and all the rest of it. But I'm just more interested in building. And if we have a shallow correction, then for the traders, I'll be looking to get you back in, even though I'm not leverage trading myself within all of that. So normally go from the 4-hour to the tick chart, which I don't really have much to show on the tick chart here, but we can just have a look. I don't even know if I've updated it. No, I haven't really updated it. So anyway, we've got our 5 waves up here, so I can move that to here, to here. I can move that across. Now, I was trying to figure, I haven't had much time. It looks like we've got an impulse wave down here, which I can pull apart for you a bit. Let's have a little go at this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 here. And then we've got probably an A, and then 3 waves for the B and a C here for wave 2. Down for wave 3, back for wave 4, and we've got 5 waves in here. So I'm thinking this has got to be over here for this, but will double check that. And if you've got a different count, well then, sure, I'd like to see it. I think sharing is helpful. We're all in the same, we're all in our little boat. There's other boats out there, but if you're in our boat, then it's good if you can contribute. Just got to check on that too, get these out of the way. Yeah, it counts nice. There's an A and a B and a C wave up through that way. So it'd probably leave that as a C wave there. I need to pull that apart though. 1, 2, squashing it a bit. Let's just check this here. Yeah, I think there's one more wave up here. So that's wave 1 and 2 here, and that would be 1 and 2, and that would be, I have to include that as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 here, so that takes that to that. Still 1 wave short. Anyway, I'll figure that out, but it looks like the 3rd wave here, so we can bring in the other little levels here, the smaller levels. So, well, from 5, when you're counting Fibonacci numbers, that's 1, 2, 3, 5. That's 16, 5, 16, 8 here. And for the people that know the levels, this number here is just another little odd number. 72 is where Gann and Elliott meet, I guess. Oh, Gann and Fibonacci. Not that the numbers are that much difference, really, to be honest. You know, they're very, very close. That's 18,000. So I'm just going to put this in here. I just want to darken that number. So basically, for the folks that know the levels, the trading levels, we're actually in group 2 here in a really big way. So normally with group 2, we look at 65, which is this number here. And then we look at 72 and 18. That all makes up group 2. But as I've mentioned before, within group 2, we just normally use those 3 numbers if we're using, but because there's so much space in here at the moment, then we can bring in all the other numbers. So we can bring in 17,000, of course, straight up. And then from that, we can also bring in group 1 above that. So that would be 100, 200, and 300. And then there would be 500 here. And then there will be 8 here again. So they're all the little levels within that space. I won't go into here, but just, you know, that's sort of... that's just enough. There's a little group 2 in here, so we can go 650 in here. Okay, we'll do it. So 650 in here. Oh, close enough. And then there's also a little group 2 in here as well, 72 in here. So that will be the 16,720. So if I was intraday trading within that space, I would need to be, I would be wanting to look at those numbers. 16,720, because that's where the market is at the moment. It's just moving through those levels, which is a little group 2 in here. And then you can break that down further as well. But we're looking for a little wave 4 back, so we can just, which ones do we need? We need copying these ones here. I'll have to double check that, but we're getting close there. I should have checked it before I've done the video, but I've just got so many videos to do. Okay, I'll leave that, but that's what we're looking for. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.